You all are proving it's literally impossible to mess up your manifestation. Like, seriously, it's only day 3 in our 7-day manifestation, and you guys are blowing up the success stories. I'll even put 3 of them on the screen where someone is having coffee with their specific person next week. Someone got a call at work from their specific person. And then after someone gotten back into contact after 5 months of no contact, you guys are absolutely manifesting in the quickest and best way possible. So today there was another question that kind of stood out to me that I wanted to answer, and I'll put it up on the screen because it's really important to remember the way of your consciousness needs to be transferred to your way of being. So here's the question they wrote. They wrote, "Hey Kyle, I'm so glad you're doing the 7-day challenge. Here's my story and question. So after seeing some massive forward movement from late August to the end of September, I got hit with the I just want to see you, or I just see you as a best friend, and that's how I've seen it since day one text." And then they talk about their actual successes that they're already having, but then they end it with, "So the question is, do you think it's wrong to continue to match the energy? If she does reach out again, and this time with more positive action, is it a bad idea to set up some boundaries and call out prior issues, or just let it slide but be a little more wary?" So in this case, you never ever want to act from or undo a previous state, meaning you always want to be focused on exactly what you want. And so that's the exact outcome that we would want to be doing here. And so thus we want to continue acting and being the individual that already has their specific person in the reality. Basically, even though things are happening in our external reality that don't align with what we want to stay focused on the outcome. Obviously not completely ignoring them, but focusing on or dwelling upon negatives is never going to help. Obviously, again, in our 3D, we're going to be working through these outcomes, but always remember a state of abundance, meaning every time or anytime you see something negative happen in your reality, you can always approach it with a this and that ideal, because most people think it's either this way or that way, but it's really a this and that, meaning if you are seeing something you want in your reality, but something else seemingly goes against it, you can have everything all at once. So yes, you can still have your specific person manifestation, even though they may be hitting you with that let's just be friends text. And this goes with literally anything that's happening in our external reality that we feel is working against us, because I actually wanted to focus on this concept of habit. So day 3 is all about getting into the natural and habitual state and understanding why whenever we're moving through states, sometimes it doesn't feel as permanent, but it's because we are constantly moving through a bunch of different states throughout the day, but our consciousness and our state of being is what is going to be manifested. So I wanted to include another Neville Goddard kind of idea or quote for today and go into an idea that I think is going to help you out massively. So here it is. Neville Goddard wrote, "Our ordinary alterations of consciousness as we pass from one state to another are not transformations because each of them is so rapidly succeeded by another in the reverse direction. But whenever one state grows so stable as to definitely expel its rivals, then that central habitual state defines the character and is a true transformation." So in this case, and you can swap in any sort of external 3D event that you want, in this case, their specific person is mentioning that they should just be friends, but this is just a fleeting state, right? We're going to be jumping from the end state back to this assumption. But what we want to do is create this positive success or our end state to such a level or a state of consciousness that it becomes our habitual state. Because Neville Goddard also said that you cannot manifest something if it doesn't feel natural. And I would totally have to agree with that. If it doesn't feel natural of living in our end and habitual, and we're automatically and always thinking upon that and kind of letting go or letting that old man pass away, then we're not going to manifest exactly what we desire. Take, for example, this Neville Goddard quote as well, in which he wrote, "The world is a magnified mirror, magnifying everything that you are conscious of being." And so this is what we are doing in our reality. But you may also be asking, okay, so Kyle, how do we implement this? How do we actually make this a habit? How do I start living this in my reality? And that is, again, the connection between our state of consciousness and our state of being. So the main kind of meat in this video is right here and right now. So hopefully you made it this far. So the idea is, what are you doing in your reality that's reaffirming your state of consciousness? Because in my video yesterday, I talked about this quote by Neville Goddard that most people might not totally relate to, but talks about how we can't have a philosophical indifference to what is happening around us, meaning we are living in our end, but then we're interacting with our reality in such a way that starts to align with our end state. And we're not ignoring this concept or external 3D, but we are aligning it with the outcome we want. And so that's your state of being. I would say most people end up with a state of consciousness that aligns aligns with what they want, meaning their state of being starts to lack. So again, the question would be, let's say, for example, and I was actually talking about this in a coaching session, so this is coaching session advice right here. Someone was asking, how do I get my specific person to pursue me? Okay. And because they're getting into the state of consciousness, right? You're obviously going to imagine and think about, contemplate, visualize, affirm, and journal for them being with you, but they weren't getting the results that they wanted. And they were doing all of that, which is great for your state of consciousness changing. But what we want also in alignment with that is a state of being change. So what I asked them was, what are you doing that reaffirms your sense of being pursued? So what makes you feel pursued and what is believable to you? Because if we're not using our divine guidance to support these ideas, then we're not going to see the outcome that we want. And divine guidance is literally anything you feel would take you from where you are to your outcome. So if you want to be pursued and you find things in your reality that support that confidence and make you feel pursued, that's actually a divine guidance. You're not messing up your manifestation. You're not altering it. You are actually supporting it massively. So let's say to feel pursued, you feel like you want to get new clothes. That's divine guidance, which I know, again, you don't need anything in your external reality in order to support the outcome you want. But if you are feeling that way, that's divine guidance for you. And the reason that divine guidance is always separate and different for everyone is because everyone has different ways of getting into their end state, right? Different things are going to make different people feel pursued. And so kind of, I guess, for day 3, that's kind of our idea, to get you into a state of being pursued. So this is all that you need to do today. Because most people would respond to this, well, I try to, throughout my day, keep myself from thinking negative thoughts. And yes, that is very powerful and the basis in which we build our entire manifestation from, which is our state of consciousness. But that isn't the only thing that we need to be doing. That's internal state change, but then is also supporting the concept of being or acting in your reality in accordance to that outcome. Think of Neville Goddard, right? He, when he was trying to go first class to Barbados, he walked the streets as if he was in Barbados. Now, did he completely kind of feel that way? Yes, internally. Did he completely ignore things outside of him that would kind of push against that? No, he still obviously did things that would bring him in a divine guidance perspective towards where he wanted to go, but he kept that mental image. And so we want to make sure that we're not only having this internal change, but a state of being that changes. So basically, overall, what I'm saying is whatever your divine guidance that you want to do or feel like doing today, because you are going to continue getting these massive changes, especially if you change your state of being, would be basically the question of, would fill in any action increase your ability to believe that your specific person would pursue you? And that's divine guidance. So fill in the blank of any action that you feel could be supporting that outcome and do it, right? And that's going to be your divine guidance to take you from wherever you are to your manifestation in the quickest way possible. Because Neville Goddard also would state that manifestations always, always, always come from a bridge of events, right? They're always going to act that out in a way that seems logical. That's how Neville Goddard describes the bridge of events. So I guarantee you right now, you have a million and an infinite amount of options taking you from where you are to where you want to go. And all you have to do is act on whatever feels the most natural in order to make that happen, which again sounds strange because most people think of manifestation as not being that way. Obviously, your internal state change is the most important. Do not get it wrong with that. You cannot act in any way in your reality without the state of consciousness aligning with that. Most people try to do that and do not get the result that they want. So we always have to focus on an internal state of consciousness first. But the way of acting in your reality, thus, is the second most important thing and must be done in order to create it. And I'll give you an example of this. So let's say someone, because Neville Goddard had a quote, and I'll probably use it in a different video, but he talks about the dumb man is conscious of being dumb without making any statements, right? So makes sense. We're all conscious of being what we are without affirming for it, right? It's just automatic. But let's say, for example, in this state or in this, for this example of what we're talking about, let's say this dumb man wants to be smart. So internally, they must become conscious of being intelligent, right? So they would affirm it, they would think about it, they would contemplate what it would mean to them to be intelligent. And thus, what would, again, using that previous example, what insert any action. What action would increase your ability to believe that you are smart? That would be your divine guidance. So maybe they say, oh, going to the library. Smart people go to the library. So I feel like going to the library right now. Going to the library then is not the power, but it reinforces the concept of self, which is a consciousness in their state of being. Meaning this would be divine guidance that would increase them to go to the end of exactly what they are desiring. And thus, they should act that out as divine guidance. And so we should do the same exact thing when it comes to our manifestation of our specific person. But here's where we kind of confuse it, because most people try to act without the state, but you don't go anywhere. Imagine this individual trying to go to the library, but repeating constantly that they are dumb, that they're not intelligent. Going to the library, doing anything is not going to do literally anything. It's going to potentially even reinforce the opposite or the negative. They might be even feeling worse after going there, seeing all these smart people, right? But in that case, then your state of consciousness is the most important, but not the only thing. If this individual had divine guidance to act out or go to the library, but then refused it, right? It would actually be their old or previous state winning over in this instance, which obviously is not going to help them get to where they want. So what you want to do for today is ask yourself, what is your divine guidance? What would actually support the outcome that you want? Especially because in the coaching session, this is what it was our goal. If you want to be pursued by your specific person, what would help you in that belief? What could you do right here and right now that would support it? And I know, again, this seems crazy, odd, or strange, but by acting this out, you are going to see a huge, and I mean massive, difference in everything that's happening. And so all those success stories that we mentioned at the beginning, it's going to be you, and it's going to be absolutely tripled by the end of this video. So make sure in each of these days, you are coming back. Again, I don't even know if I actually talked about the fact that we're on a 7-day challenge. I think I did, but this is day 3 of our 7-day challenge, taking you from wherever you are to your specific person. So make sure to keep me updated. I definitely want to know, one of the successes was got a call, but was working, returned it, but no pickup. I want to know what that person is up to right now. What happened with that call? Let me know. Literally, let me know all of your updates. If you're worried, you have anxiety, fear, whatever, questions, let me know in the comment section below. If you did want to reach out to me personally and did not want to comment that, head over to kyleaugustcoaching.com. I think someone even commented that they tried to email me, but it didn't work. Just go to my website and then go to the contact tab. That's the easiest way to do it. It should send it to me, but if not, I would just try it again. Okay. But I'm so into everyone in here getting to where they want to go. So make sure to, again, keep me updated. I can't tell you how awesome and amazing it is to keep me up. Spam the comments with your updates. That would be absolutely fantastic, because I want to see where you are and how to get you from where you currently are to your manifestation. Because sometimes when we try these out, we kind of run into, I don't want to say run into problems, but run into problems during the process. So try it out and let me know how it goes. Again, thank you guys so much for joining me in this 7-day journey. Hopefully you guys are really seeing success. Again, if not, let me know in the comment section below, because I want to help you. And we're almost kind of halfway through. Tomorrow's going to be halfway through. And then don't feel worried if time or things aren't moving in the way you want. When you start to act, it becomes exponential, meaning manifestation is exponential. And again, remember, don't undo any negative state, act from the new state. So if you found you and your specific person talking about something negative in the past, just, I don't want to say let that go, because it's sometimes not as easy as that, but basically let that go. That's your old state. Do not try to bring back your specific person from the past. Act as if you are acting or creating an entirely new relationship with your specific person, and that is going to help you out massively. Again, thank you so much for stopping by today, and I can't wait to see you in my next video tomorrow. Make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video if you absolutely loved it, or if you just want to help me out, stay updated on this, like it, subscribe, whatever. You don't have to, but I'll see you in my next video tomorrow.